Okay, I wish I found out about this game earlier because this is one of the best Fnaf fan games I've played in recent years. The Return to Freddy's Expanded Edition is a Fnaf fan game created by 2000 Studios and developed by Elijah Games, a fellow YouTuber. It is based off of another Fnaf fan game series called The Return to Freddy's. I'm not going to explain what TRTF is as a whole in this video because it would make the video way too long, and there are already tons of really good videos explaining this, but I will explain this. There was going to be a fifth Return to Freddy's game that got cancelled. Originally, the game was going to be made in QuickTeam Fusion before a brief period was made in Unreal Engine 4 before being brought back to QuickTeam Fusion. This fan game is based off of the fifth game's Unreal Engine 4 version. It was actually originally going to be just a remaster of the Unreal Engine 4 version before being made into a full fan game. This game has a ton of content, so I'll go through it one by one. So story mode starts you off in the year 2036 as Blake Frederick Peterson, or BFP for short, in front of Fazbear Inc. And can I say, this place looks so much better compared to how it looked back then. After getting the night vision, you go forward into the building, or can leave through the door behind you, beating the game early and unlocking nightmare mode, but more on that later. You can also go into third person by pressing the tab key, which is pretty cool. Before I start, I want to say that there are 4 upgrades you can get in the game. The crowbar, extra night vision, extra sprint, and better flashlight. They're all hidden, but it's worth getting them all. Anyways, you go into the first part of Floor 1, which is a modified version of the old Unreal Engine 4 Floor 1, which was a remake of the old pre-release version of Floor 1. I actually prefer this version because of all of the stuff added. It feels much more full compared to how it used to. This part of the game has no enemies, which actually builds up some tension, unless you're quick enough, then you can catch Lockjaw before he goes to the back rooms. I remember playing this game for the first time and genuinely getting nervous when I saw Lockjaw pull off Sammy Lawrence. Anyways, the next part of Floor 1 is a remake of the old Floor 1 from the unfinished build. I really like how dark this area is. You find gas, start an engine, and get out of there. Just make sure Torture Lockjaw doesn't get you. Floor 2 is a gas room where you have to clog these pipes while avoiding Torture Freddy. I expected this area to be confusing, but I've beat this game like close to a dozen times or so, and thankfully it's not. Another thing I love about this game is how diverse the floors look and play. Floor 3 is a library where you have to get 4 books to unlock this room, gain a password from inside to open this metal door, and escape Torture Sugar, who is really fast. I like how the password is randomized, so it feels fresh every time I play this floor. Floor 4 is a bedroom where you walk through this hall to get to this door, which is blocked by these wooden boards, so that means you have to go to the sewers to get the pipe bar. Floor A is the aforementioned sewers where you need to turn 3 valves to get the aforementioned pry bar while avoiding these 2 animatronics called the Slaughter Twins by throwing the flesh of your fellow humans at them so they can eat it. How metal. Also be sure that you obtained the pry bar before you died. More on that later. Anyways, you make your way back up to floor 4 and then get chased down by Torture Kitty Fastcat. This part can be pretty tough if you don't know what to do. Anyways, you break down the boards and go to the next area. Now, what if I said that you don't have to go to the sewers or encounter Torture Kitty Fastcat at all? Throughout the game, you can find crowbars hidden usually in corners. Not only do they turn your character into a wood chipper, but can be used to break the floor 4 boards early without having to go into the sewers or encounter Torture Kitty Fastcat. Unless if I'm achievement hunting or playing the game on a completely new save, I almost always avoid the sewers. Next up is Floor 5. And let me just tell you that this is probably one of my favorites. You get chased down by the Beast, which was teased in the audio logs, who also killed the audio log guy. The Beast is also the fastest one, so be careful around him. You turn these valves, pull this lever, find these crosses, get the key, put the crosses in these things, and escape. And I'm not done yet. There was a secret level in this room, and to get it, you go into this wall, which will take you to a room with an audio log on the floor and this door. But you don't just enter it. You have to punch in the code building, lockjaw, rubble, boiler, book, ladder into the wall, and then you will be taken into the real jaw level. I'm going to try to explain it as best as I can, but in this level you play as a man who is teleported into a computer of some kind to find a password to a folder, more on that in a second, while running through a maze while being chased by Real Jaw. Real Jaw is unique in the sense that he doesn't kill you instantly, unlike the rest, but instead he'll hit you 4 times before you die. Anyways, you grab the key, escape the place, and get this really creepy cutscene where it gives you the password, "The end is never the end." Afterwards, the game just restarts. The password in question unlocks this zip folder with a bunch of goodies, which is what the guy at the starting was talking about or was referencing. The goodies in question are standalone images from the game, as well as audio, sprites, models, and memes. And the creator's man cave kind of reminds me of mine. Anyways, Floor 6 leads you to a chase sequence where you run from all or at least most of the torture animatronics you've faced so far. You then enter this room, which also has this red room to the side, which is very important. You don't have to, but you can flick these lights on. Anyways, you enter this room. This is the end. Allison greets you and tells you that you are not human, and that
you are a animatronic,
which was hinted at in the notes throughout the game. He also tells you that you can join the machine, but you can refuse. This leads to multiple endings, and this is why the red room is important. You see, throughout the game, there are these red keys hidden throughout. 5 to be exact, and if you have all the keys, you can unlock the red room. Inside the red room are a bunch of pipes that you can tamper with or destroy. Doing so breaks the machine. I found 5 different endings to the main game, so here they are. The first ending is where you join the machine without tampering with it. You then cause the end of humanity and become the leader of the world. This ending unlocks the Return to Freddy's 1. I know it might look goofy. I kind of thought that myself, but trust me, this is actually accurate to what Tyler would have done. I know. But anyways, the second ending is where you refuse the machine without tampering with it, and you end up having a boss fight with the torture device. It's pretty easy if you know what you're doing. You then escape to the surface, and this ending unlocks the Return to Freddy's 2. The third and fourth endings are where you join the machine after tampering with it, destroying it. You then wake up in, quote-unquote, your happy place, which I think is heaven, but I could be wrong. It might be the surface or something like that, but I don't know. But anyways, there are 2 paths. If you follow the second one, you find a book filled with the knowledge of Fazbear Inc. This ending unlocks the Return to Freddy's 3. If you go the other path, you'll find broken up torture lockjaw, which looks like Wood Buddy for some reason, and you forgive him for what he's done. This ending unlocks the Return to Freddy's 4. The 5th ending is where you tamper with the machine and refuse to join it. You then escape the building while broken up lockjaw chases you and then gets destroyed. This doesn't unlock another Return to Freddy's Volume 1 remake, but rather Floor 1 Classic. More on that later. I personally see this ending as the canon ending, but I could be wrong. And that's story mode. I really enjoyed this mode, but I found some bugs, and I'll talk about that later. This mode gets a solid 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Whenever you beat story mode, doesn't matter what ending it is, you get extras and a mode called G.P.D mode, or Goldie Paradiner mode. I'm very glad that this mode exists. For those who don't know, G.P.D mode was going to be a mode, and the Return to Freddy's 5 was going to be a sit and survive mode like classic Fnaf. But almost nothing's known about it other than its menu. That's why I love this mode so much. It finished the mode while adding its own spin. The mode itself is also pretty cool. You have 4 animatronics to deal with. Torture Fredbear, Torture Spring Bunny, Feline, and Goldie. Spring Bunny inches closer to your office when you don't have the monitor up. Feline chases to you, and you have to flash her. Fredbear inches closer to your office when you have the monitor up. And Goldie sometimes appears in your office and you have to flash him, but I feel like sometimes is not understatement because he appears a lot. There's 5 nights, and when you're done with them, you attempt to leave the place before getting shot by Blake? That's the main character of story mode. How could he? Rest in peace, a guy I don't know the name of. After that, you get a star. You get to explore the building in roam mode, which I think's awesome. The atmosphere of the building is so creepy too, and I love it. Just listen. Genuinely gave me chills while exploring the building. That's Goldie Parrot Diner mode. It was a short but sweet mode that I really enjoyed. I'm thankful for it being added. 8.5 out of 10. Next up are all of the extras. There are tons of extras for this game. The first piece of extras is the model viewer. It's a nice little way to view, Allison's gloves. And you get the Return to Freddy's 5 characters by finding plushies around the story mode, other than the last 4. To unlock the torture device, you have to defeat him. To unlock Nightmare Lockjaw, you have to beat Nightmare mode at least once. And to get Classic Lockjaw and BFP, you have to beat both versions of both modes of Floor 1 Classic. You unlock the rest by beating the games that they're in. Next up are the mini-games. Now, I'm going to be honest, I didn't get them all. Besides, you don't need to get them to 100% complete the game. But the ones I played were pretty good. Next up is a pretty special extra, which is arcade mode. This is a boomer shooter style mode, which is pretty fun to play. There's 5 levels in total, 2 being levels where you hunt for a key to leave the place, 2 being wave-based levels, and 1 being a level where you need to escape, or bathe in a crap ton of Lockjaw plushies. You have 4 weapons. The flashlight, which ain't that good, but makes up for it by having a funny animation for the reload button. The revolver, the SMG, and the shotgun. The shotgun and SMG are the best weapons in my opinion. And you also have a few different enemies. Buster, Kitty, Lockjaw, and Pimp Lockjaw is the boss for the wave levels. Overall, I recommend you play this mode. 8.5 out of 10. Next up is a really cool extra, Nightmare mode. This is what I was talking about at the starting of this video. The reason why this is so cool is because this is based off of an old teaser for the Return to Freddy's 5, where you were in your living room and had to fend off against Nightmare Lockjaw. Beating it unlocks Nightmare Lockjaw on the model viewer. It's completely remade in this game with added features. Overall, this is a great mode that didn't need to be here, but it's welcome nonetheless. 8.5 out of 10. Next up is Floor 1 Classic, which is a full remake of the Return to Freddy's 5's oldest versions. It's really accurate and even adds some stuff as well. It has the old flashlight and night vision from the old versions, and if you press tab, instead of going third person, your hand changes to fit the different looks of your hands in those versions. There's 2 versions of this mode, with or without AI. Playing the mode without AI has no AI, and unlocks classic BFP in the model viewer. Playing with AI has classic Torture Lockjaw as an active threat, and unlocks classic Torture Lockjaw or hybrid Lockjaw in the model viewer. When I played this originally, I adored it because, and this is a personal fact about me, but when I was a kid, 10 to be exact, I played the old versions of this game, specifically pre-release 3, and I loved the aesthetic of the game and how it looked, and I'm so glad it was recreated here. I love this mode's inclusion. 8.5 out of 10. Man, we're getting a lot of 8.5 out of 10s in this video. Next up are the remakes of the Return to Freddy's Volume 1. I'm going to go through them all one by one because there's a lot to talk about here. TRTF 1 is way better than classic TRTF 1, but then again, most Fnaf fan games are. Anyways, You have a toxic mask like the original, but it doesn't suck, and you have cameras you can use, but you don't need them, as well as having a flashlight. Throughout the nights, you will have to put on the mask in case any animatronics come to your doors, other than Foxy, in which you flash him. It's a pretty simple game, yet the mechanics work well together mostly. The endings change to where when you try to leave, you get caught by Frankbert. Okay, that's 2 protagonists dead. Rest in peace, Mike Schnitzel. This game also has a roam mode as well, which means you can look at this endoskeleton in peace. Overall, this is a great mode too, better than the original. 8 out of 10. Also, here's a fun fact. One of the play testers of this game and friend of mine, Wendy Slaughter, played this game and kept spamming the honk noise on the posters, which caused Elijah to threaten to remove the honking feature unless she stopped, which I think is pretty funny. TRTF 2 Expanded Edition is just TRTF 1 Expanded, except the mask is not filled with asbestos. You have to charge power. Kitty's a threat. And Foxy's a slightly different tone. Oh yeah, and Frankbird got a bath. One thing I like is that Allison is the phone guy, which is a reference to an obscure fact that Allison was going to be the phone guy in the remaster of TRTF 2, so that's pretty cool. This game also ends with the main character dying. Rest in pepperonis, Coneth Kotz. Once again, nice game, which has a roam mode and Wiser Blood. This one's way better than the original TRTF 2 in my opinion. 8 out of 10. TRTF 3 Expanded Edition plays a lot differently than the previous two, which is always a welcome thing. You have a panel to select stuff like in the original. The cameras are actually useful, and you have to close this door when some characters try to get through it. This mode does have this problem, which is what I like to call TRTF 4 syndrome, which is where you have a bunch of nice mechanics that pack in and overlap with each other, causing inescapable deaths. However, this guy does survive in this game, for now, but I'll get to that later. This game also has a roam mode, and playing this mode made me realize that this place looks a lot like the place from Goldie Pear Diner mode. I don't know if it's just a coincidence, or if they're the same places or not, but I don't know. Once again, nice game, better than the original TRTF 3. 7.5 out of 10. TRTF 4 Expanded Edition is way better than TRTF 3, and I actually enjoyed it. But then again, TRTF 4 is my favorite of the first 4 games anyways. This is probably my favorite out of all of these remakes, and it's very accurate as well, except for a few minor changes like the power lever being a button on the monitor. However, I feel like using the actual TRTF 4 models would have been better, but then again, the animatronics look the same in all the games, so I guess that's good too. Another thing I like about this game is how around halfway through this game, the place gets cleaner. That's a really nice detail. Your character dies at the end of this game at the hands of Golden Lockjaw or Gron, who's the person possessing Golden Lockjaw. Rest in peace, Blake. Wait. Ain't that the main character of story mode? But I thought he was inside of Lockjaw in these games. I don't know how to explain that. Maybe they're them for people. I don't know. Elijah, tell us the truth. Overall, this game is great, and I'd maybe even say it's better than the original TRTF 4. This one's my favorite out of all of these different modes. 8.5 out of 10. There's your other 8.5 out of 10. Overall, these were all great little games that I enjoyed playing, and after beating them all, you get the final credits, which is really cool. While completing this game, I also 100%ed it, so that's cool as well. Now it's time for the pros and cons of this whole game. The graphics are great. I don't see graphics as great with a lot of Fnaf fan games. The gameplay is really great too. I really enjoy it and wish that more games played like this. Not just Fnaf fan games, but games in general. This game has a crap ton of replayability. I've beat just a story mode around 10, 11 times. Goldie Pear Diner mode is an awesome inclusion, and I love how well it turned out. All of the extras are great inclusions too. I love how much content this game has. The model viewer was nice, and the mini games I played were cool. The Nightmare mode was a great inclusion, for example. Same thing, especially for Floor 1 Classic and Arcade mode. It was awesome to see all the classic TRTF games added as well. I do have a few issues with this game. For example, this game has a lot of bugs and exploits. I don't really have a problem with exploits, but there are a lot of exploits that are actually really good. Um, but I have more of a problem with the bugs. Some good examples of exploits that should stay are bunny hopping, being able to pick up batteries multiple times after you die, or items in general, and being able to get all the keys you need in one spot. Yes, I use that exploit to get most, if not all, of the special endings, but then there are some not so good bugs, like respawning in weird areas, and the pry bar disappearing after you die, meaning you need to get it again. This game's flesh textures, like the flesh on all of the surfaces and whatnot, also look a little weird as well, but it's nothing big, nothing game breaking or anything like that. Originally, an issue I had with this game was that I wished the TRTF games weren't just extras, and instead you could unlock one after another. But I really don't mind much. Heck, it gives a reason to beat the game multiple times. My biggest issue with this game is that if you want to play story mode again, you have two options: delete save and keep save. Press keep save. Pressing delete save doesn't just delete your story mode save, but your entire save file. Meaning if you're like me, who made this mistake while having a ton of progress, your save is gone, and you have to start all the way over. I had to do that while making this video. I made like halfway progress with this game, then ended up accidentally deleting my entire save. I wish this button was in the options menu or somewhere else that's not in the way and so easily pressable. Also, this ain't a con, but I really wish this game had game trophies, because I 100% completed this game, and it would be awesome to have evidence of that on my Game Jolt profile. And that's it. I really enjoyed this game. I wish I played it earlier. This game came out in like 2023 or so, and if young 10-year-old me played this game, he would have loved it. So thank you so much to all who helped work on this game. This game gets a 9.5 out of 10 to me. Thank you so much for watching. This took me way too long to make, and I hope you have enjoyed this video. Take care, and goodbye.